So you have decided to give a work from home career a shot, and then you have also decided that to kick off your work from home career, you want to first dip your toes into freelancing, whether that is like in a part-time capacity or full-time capacity. And so the next question that comes is, how do I land my first freelance client? Very good question, and we'll be answering that in today's video. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Blessing. Welcome to the Creative Beam corner. So in this channel, what we do is we provide actionable tips and strategies for women so that you can take control of your career, no matter what life stage you are in right now. Maybe you're transitioning from a traditional 9 to 5 to working from home, or you are a freelancer, you want to dip your take your experience into a remote career, or you want to transition back from working from home back to the office, and you're just asking yourself, I've been working from home for a long time, will it damage my chances of going back in office? So things like this are what we're discussing on this channel. And if you're a guy, feel free to stay. Okay, I see you. Feel free to stay. So without wasting time, let's get into today's video. First things first, you need to identify your value proposition, and I'm going to break it down, what I just said, into simpler terms. You just need to identify what you bring to the table. So these are your skills, both your soft skills and your hard skills. You also need to know, which of these skills do you want to market? You also need to know, what is the particular client's need that your skills will be solving. For a more detailed outlook on how to know the kind of skills you want to market, I have a video up on that, so make sure you check it out. I'm going to link it in the description box for you. And if you are still wondering if there is a difference between freelancing and remote work, I will also link the video down in the description box, so make sure you check it out. Then the next thing you want to do is to ensure that you build a portfolio. I won't spend so much time talking about building a portfolio here because I also have a previous video where I spoke about it, and I'm going to link it in the description box. And coming up, I'm already working on creating another detailed video talking about why it's important for you to have an online portfolio. So make sure you click that notification bell if you aren't, because you're going to be missing out on a lot of content and a lot of context that you need. Okay, so you need to have an online portfolio, and I know that right now maybe you are stopped in your tracks, like, what am I going to put in my portfolio? Especially if maybe you are in the creatives, you are a graphic designer, or you are a writer, or you are a web developer, and you're just wondering, I haven't created this is why I need a freelance client. So you can create spec work, and spec work means you can have personal projects that is self-initiated, that you put together and then show it off, just to show that you have the skills that you talk about. You can do volunteer work, someone or a cause that you are passionate about, in exchange for a testimonial, and also that you are able to display that work in your portfolio. You can work with a small business in your area, or you can even help out a friend. Maybe your friend is starting out a business and you are good with social media. You're like, okay, you know what, let me manage your social media for the first few months, and with that I'm able to build my skills, and you are able to put in like a testimonial for me, and I can show this off as a project I've worked on. You get? So that is one thing you have to do. The next thing that you have to do is to ensure that you are optimizing your online presence. I'm going to just put a caveat here, because when I say optimize your online presence, ensuring you're online, I don't mean you have to be on every social media platform. I don't mean, be on IG, Instagram, be on X, be on Facebook, be on TikTok, be on LinkedIn. I don't mean for you to just spread yourself over every social media channel, because at the end of the day, you can stand at the risk of having maybe social media fatigue if you're someone like me, or spreading yourself too thin. So what I would say is recognize 1 or 2 social media channels that you have seen that speaks more to your target client, where your clients are most likely going to be found, and then ensure that you have your profiles optimized on those channels. So maybe the kind of clients that will come after you use Instagram mostly, then you have to ensure you have an established presence on Instagram. maybe your clients are more likely to hang out on Twitter. You want to ensure that your presence on Twitter is optimized, and by optimize, use a professional headshot, not like you use a headshot where it seems like you're pouting and there are people in the background. Use a professional headshot that just brings out a professional outlook, and it doesn't have to be so expensive where I'm saying, okay, go and rent out a photographer. You can just be, taking it with your phone, telling someone to take a picture of you with your phone, ensuring that your key features, that's your face up to your shoulder level, is showing, and then ensure that in your bio, in your just your profile's bio, you clearly state the kind of work or kind of skills that you have to offer, so that someone doesn't come to your page and is guessing, okay, does she do what he do? Yes, I just called you out, guys. What does he do? Okay, so that's one thing you want to do. Then another thing you have to do is leverage your network. Never underestimate the power of word of mouth, and never underestimate your social cycle. Don't be shy or feel you can't tell your friends or family what you do, especially when you are trying something new, because you never know where your first client might come from. You never know whether maybe even the person that you haven't told and you feel maybe they don't need that service, what if they do and they haven't yet told you? Or maybe you just explaining that, okay, I have this skill and this is what I help people do, or what my target clients are going to be wanting to hire me for. Maybe they didn't even know that they needed your service, and it just the moment just click on, oh my, I actually do need your service. And from there, you don't know, you've gotten your first client. So don't underestimate, telling people what you do. I know that sometimes it can be a little bit dicey. I remember when telling people what I do, I will have to explain, I will have to use context, but with time I was able to find simpler ways to explain what I do so that they could just easily understand. The next thing you want to do is use freelance job platforms. I'm going to create a video later on to talk about freelance job platforms versus going through LinkedIn or applying directly to jobs, because I know that some people would say don't use job boards. Job boards are bad, job boards are too competitive and all of that, and I get it, I really do get it. But then everything has its purpose and there's a balance to everything. So especially when you're starting out, I'm not going to say put all your focus or 100% focus on job boards, just because they can be very competitive, but I'm going to say don't neglect it, especially when you're trying to start out. So there are different job boards you can try out, Upwork, Fiverr being the most popular, and then there are other job board platforms. The ones that I know that I have had the most experience with is Upwork and Fiverr. I didn't spend so much focus on Fiverr, to be very honest. I spent 95% of my efforts on Upwork. So what I would just tell you is, you never know, set up your profile on any of the job boards that you find, maybe 2 or 3. Ensure that you have a professional headshot there. You send out good proposals, and ensure that your profile is 100% complete, because that's also can affect success rates of the kind of proposals to send out. Because just put yourselves in the shoes of the person that's going to hire you, that you want to hire someone and their profile is not 100% complete. It can rub you off the wrong way. Okay, the next thing you want to do is ensure you have compelling proposals. Now, proposals, because we are talking about freelancing, is why I'm using the word proposals. Proposals are more like saying cover letters, but unlike cover letters that you will send for maybe a remote job and all of that, proposals are like, I feel I don't want to use the word informal, but they're supposed to be like a more condensed version that just typically talks about your skills and how it applies to the particular project that you're sending this proposal to. So this could be mostly on job boards. You see a job posting and then you send in your proposal. So ensure that your proposal is compelling. I always say, as much as possible, if you can find the name of the client, if you know the name of the client, use the name of the client in that proposal. Say something like, hello John, sounds better than hi there or hi and all of that. But I know that there are some situations where maybe right off the bat you might not be able to find the names of the clients, but make sure that if you do know the name of the client, use the name of the client in your proposal. That's 1. 2, ensure that your proposal clearly states the understanding of the product. So it would be funny if maybe you are a content writer and then you are applying to a particular freelance gig that is like saying they want someone who can write sustainable blogs, and then in your proposal you are saying, oh, so I'm a writer and I write healthcare articles. Do you get? Number one, it can come up to the person reading it that maybe she probably just copy and pasted the same proposal she has been sending to different, job posts, or she probably doesn't even understand the job posting. So ensure that you take time to read the job posting, you understand what is needed, so you can, I won't say tell it back to the person to the client, but you are demonstrating that, oh, I do understand that you're looking for this and I have the capabilities to meet this need. Now, also ensure that you highlight relevant experience. Now, I'm not saying you should go ahead and be saying, so I have 5 years of experience in this, and then it just ended there. If you're going to mention, okay, I have 5 years of experience in something, ensure that every word that you're talking about adds value to the proposal. You're not just putting a word there because it sounds nice, or putting a sentence there because it will make me sound like an expert. Every sentence needs to add value. So first off, don't bother yourself about the details. First of all, write out your proposal, then start going in and start trimming some things and asking yourself, okay, does this go straight to the point? Is there anything that is like fluff I should cut out of here? Does it also show that I clearly understand the job proposal, the job posting? Does it also clearly show that I have the experience to fulfill this job? Then finally, you want to explain how you can help. How would you be able to help? Don't just leave it as, I've sent you my proposal, I have the experience. Explain how you're going to help. 1 or 2 sentences will be fine, because you're trying to paint a picture in the mind of the client of how you're going to be able to help them get the goal that they're trying to achieve. Then put in a call to action whereby you're like, okay, would you be available for a free 5-minute chat or a free 10-minute chat? Just put in like a call to action that inspires them to take action. That's what the call to action is, right? Let me give you an example. So let's say you're a graphic designer and you're like, oh, hi John, so I noticed that you're looking for a graphic designer for your startup. So I'm going to say, I noticed you're looking for a graphic designer for your startup, because probably in the job post he said, maybe the client said, oh, ABC is a startup company, we are looking to ensure that we have all our branding materials done, and part of the branding materials we need a graphic designer to help us build out a logo, help us build out all our marketing materials, help us build out help us with a mock-up design for some in-person materials. So when they have already mentioned the need that they want, so you now starting with, oh, hi John, I noticed you're looking for a graphic designer for your startup to help you with dash dash dash, and then from there mention your relevant experience. Maybe you've created something in that light for another startup before, or maybe you have pieces that display that you are good in creating logos, or that display that you're good in creating mock-ups. Once you've stated that, you can even say, oh, here is a link to my portfolio to show those pieces, or I have attached those pieces, some sample pieces to this proposal as well for you to view. And then mention how you can help. How can you help? Tying it into your relevant experience, like, oh, here is how I can help. I will ensure that I first of all have a conversation with you. I know the kind of colors that speak to you, that will fit the brand, and then I will prepare a mood board. So I'm just giving you like simple things of just showing how you help. Not like you explain everything you do, but just 1 or 2 sentences, just adding 1 or 2 values just to show the person that, okay, this person doesn't just say, okay, I'm going to be hired. They've shown me that they know their stuff and how they're going to help me. And then add a call to action that, are you available for a 5-minute chat or a 10-minute chat, so I can get to understand what you need better? You see how I went with that? Okay. Another tip I'm going to give you is partner with other freelancers. Always, as much as possible, think collaboration, not always competition. So if you have another freelancer friend that has a particular skill and somehow your skills can complement each other, see how you can partner with them so that you can cross-pollinate ideas, or you can cross-pollinate clients. And I'll give you an example. Maybe you're a web developer and you have a graphic designer friend, or you come across another freelancer as a graphic designer. You can decide to partner together, whereby maybe when the graphic designer gets a client and they somehow, maybe while relating with this client, notice that the client also wants to build a website, it's easy for them to refer the clients to you. Or the reverse is the case. You have a web developer client and then you notice that, okay, the client doesn't even have a logo, the client doesn't have like some basic things that would need graphic work. You can refer them to the graphic designer friend. It's up to both of you how, or your channel or your stream of freelance friends, how you want to make this friendship work. It can be mutually beneficial, whereby maybe both of you have like a commission plan that's in the works, or it can just be based on just helping and say, okay, there's this time because you scratch my back, I scratch yours, so I refer clients to you, you refer clients to me. So ensure that you always seek out ways where you and another freelancer friend that you have or in your community can complement each other, especially if your services complement each other. Okay, then I'm also going to say leverage social proof. Take advantage of social proof. So remember when I said for your portfolio, look out for volunteer work, look out for how you can help a friend or a family with their project, or look out for small businesses in your area to help. And I said ensure you're getting something in return. So there's some that, okay, volunteer work is unpaid, but ensure you're getting something in return in such a way that you're getting a testimonial, you're getting a chance to put those pieces in your portfolio. Now all what that is giving you is social proof. Social proof is, why a company, before hiring someone, will say, okay, who are your references? Who can we speak to? I've even heard of some people that they actually go all the way to ask for an email introduction to a past client, so they can just ask or even have a conversation with a past client who is willing, and say, okay, this person, when you work with them, how was the experience like, and all of that. Maybe clients that have trust issues, how was the experience like? So social proof is very important in building trust, especially when it looks like you're still early in the game. Even when you have spent some years freelancing, you still need social proof. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to talk about code pitching. I am also going to have a dedicated video, 1 or 2 videos about code pitching, so you want to watch out for that. But I'm just going to just talk about it lightly. So code pitching, it can be in the form of emails, cold emailing, or maybe some people even do it on LinkedIn. But mostly it's popular with email, cold emailing. That is where you find maybe a company that you're interested in working with. Maybe you found out I have some services that could benefit this company, let me try my luck, in quotes, and then you send an email to the company. Mostly maybe you found the email of a manager or a colleague and you send an email to the person. That is cold emailing, because number one, most of the time they usually don't have like a job posting out there. Maybe you're a content writer and then you came across their blog and you're like, hey, the blog is good, it's okay, but I feel it can be better in this way or that way. I'm going to send them an email, and then you send an email and you're like, oh, I was reading your blog and it's great, I love this and that about your blog, just to show that you actually read the blogs, because people know when you're just you're just trying to splatter and you didn't really do any research. But I discovered that, okay, maybe you're not talking about this and these topics, and then on research, or your competitors, they are talking about this and this, and I feel there is an unsaid or unique perspective you can bring to the table, and I am willing to provide my services in this area. Now, there's some ways this can work out. This can work out well in some companies responding that, oh, they're willing to hear what your ideas are. And this is where you now have to ensure that you blow them out of the park with your ideas. Some might say, oh, thank you. And that's it. And some might never respond. But it's a numbers game, as with almost everything. So you never know which one will be like take you up on your ideas or your offer. You never know which one might actually lead to like a work opportunity. So code pitching, I know that it can be intimidating a lot of times. Like there is a risk of having a lot of crickets when you send emails, but it's still a good try. So when it comes to landing your first freelance clients, I know it might not be a walk in the park. I know there might be a lot of uncertainty. I know there might be a lot of nerves going up and down, but you need to know that sometimes the mindset shift that you need to have is to ask yourself, okay, how can I be more proactive? How can I, provide value? How can I build relationships? Because even when you land like a freelance gig, that is the same question I want you to ask yourself. How can I ensure that I am proactive in providing value? I am building a relationship with this client. And from there, you take off. So that's all I have for today's video. I have so much more coming your way. So ensure that you turn up the notification bell, you subscribe so you don't miss any of the valuable content that will be coming your way. And I have one question before I end this video that I want you to ponder on. Do you really want to freelance, or do you just want a job? I'm not going to tell you why I'm asking that question, but I want you to answer that question and tell me in the comments, because sometimes some people are like considering freelancing because they actually just want a job, a new job. Even if it's an office job, you just want to take it. So because it seems like I've not gotten an in-office job yet, that's why I did. Yeah, like, okay, maybe I should freelance. But I'm going to close my list here and wait for your answers in the comments. I will see you in the next video. Take care.